got back 3 weeks ago today. So. No, it'll be three weeks tomorrow.
Sorry, this one goes till the end of.
Well.
They've done it for a year. That's what they advise us to do.
Yes, I know that's what they advised you to do, and that's another problem for me. And that's what I want to discuss with you.
Let's write it down there. This is the 27th of July next year.
Yep, that's fine. Right. How many conversations have you had with ACC over the last 10 years?
I haven't had any. I only had it with your lawyer.
So you had no involvement in the rehab plan that ACC wrote up?
No, because no.
Do you know what psychosocial is?
No. Are
Right.
you recording this?
I'm always recording everything I say.
I don't want you to record it because...
I record everything because I cannot take any chances with anybody, because the classic example is your receptionist started an argument over nothing. All I wanted to do was ask you a question about having a meeting, and I really didn't come in here. Listen, I didn't.
Meetings had to be on a Saturday morning because basically.
Right. Well, I didn't come in here for an argument.
Anyway, let's just get on with this because I'm going to be a busy day. Yep.
Well, it's going to be a busy day. At the end of the day, if you had answered the call, then I could have asked you what's the best time for a meeting. Instead, I had to go through all the rigmarole, leaving messages that'd be called, and not being called back.
Yeah, I sent you an email, and I couldn't get hold of you on your phone, and I will try again now because it just comes to nothing. The A call cannot be connected.
Well, it connects with everybody else.
What was the number? What was the number?
There's a number there.
022 47 047 8021.
Yeah.
So why have you not put in the zero?
No, you didn't. Just after coming through there.
Your call cannot be connected. Here we are.
10274. No.
You're not putting on the right number, that's why. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. No, it doesn't really matter. It's not relevant to any of that. Now, I've got a rehab plan according to ACC in place
Yeah,
that has a thing called psychosocial on it.
yeah.
I want to know what psychosocial is. ACC refuses to sit down and discuss that
Psychosocial.
with me
Okay.
in relation to what they're talking about psychosocial. Now, if I don't understand what psychosocial is, how am I supposed to get rehabilitation, and how am I supposed to understand
Okay.
exactly what they're trying to achieve
Who's your
by
case,
this?
who's your manager, case manager?
No, you go to the CEO, Scott Pickering. I do not deal with a case manager. I do not have a case
Okay, what's the
manager.
number to them? And I can find out what psychosocial is.
Scott Pickering at acc.co.nz, I think it
I
is.
just want to ring him.
Scott Pickering is the CEO. He's the only one that I will communicate with, and I've instructed him to that any doctor, even Mr. Herpery, they have to deal with Scott Pickering.
Okay.
I don't want any of his little foot soldiers in the way. Now, the other problem I have as well is the med certs that you send off have no injuries attached. They've got a symptom of chronic pain.
Well, that's how the only reason I can do it.
Right.
That's
Well,
that's
no,
the paperwork on the
Right,
here.
but I need, how can ACC address anything about rehabilitation? A neck injury, it's not on there. A spinal injury, it's not on there. Post-traumatic stress, it's not on there. How can ACC, because when they write to me, they say, you're only covered for chronic pain. So that means that the onus lays with the GP.
So there's so many things here, right? So your injury dates back to 2095. I cannot put all these on. So all I can do, and this is how the paperwork goes, is
Well,
from
isn't
that injury.
this a fundamental flaw in the system?
It is, yeah,
in
it
light,
probably is.
In light of ACC,
So I think they put all
case
these
managers
together.
then telling me you're only covered for chronic pain. So why? That creates then another conflict, another issue, another argument. Suffering post-traumatic stress, you do not need all this rubbish. You do not need this conflict. You do not need this distress. You do not need the frustration. You do not need any of that. I went to Thailand to get away from all the frustration, to try and deal with things myself. I can't deal with them myself. I need the experts and the professionals who obviously in this country I'm not being referred to. There's another reason why I'm not being referred to. Because they stuffed up all the injuries that I had to begin with. I was being attacked for having a brain injury, attacked for having a mental illness, attacked for making threats to kill, attacked for every issue that you can think of. And I had to prove my innocence, I had to prove I didn't have a brain injury, I had to prove I didn't have a mental illness. And Dr. Brett Roach, who is the doctor who I came to after he died, he actually said to me, Michael, you definitely do not have a brain injury, you definitely do not have a mental illness, and I'm going to put it in your notes. Now, I find it mighty inconvenient that those case notes and those medical notes... Can I finish?
Did not receive any
Right,
notes
can I
at all.
finish?
Yeah.
Can I finish? I find it mighty inconvenient for me that those medical notes and medical files disappear at the point of he commits suicide and then I'm referred to you. Now, not knowing that those medical notes and medical files didn't come to you for 7 years, I had to be told by another doctor that she had no medical notes and medical files to go from. Then I came and I asked you, and you said you didn't get any medical notes or
Didn't get
medical
any
files.
medical
That was 7 years. So for 7 years, I'm sitting there thinking, you've got all my medical notes, all my medical files, you know everything about my case, and then it turns out you know nothing. So there for 7 years, I'm sitting here in front of you, not talking, not communicating, I'm totally traumatized, and I'm still totally traumatized. I am a nervous wreck dealing with ACC. I can't deal with them. Now, because every time I try to deal with them, they want to start a conflict, they want to start an argument, they want to start an issue, they want to start all their BS and carry out all their abuse, threats, intimidation and violence that I had to suffer all this time that has led to the post-traumatic stress. I'm being attacked by police and them declaring it an act of war against me. Now, if someone's declaring an act of war against a victim and a victim's getting state criminal kidnapped because of it, and there's a secret meeting at Parliament involving all the medical professionals, ACC and everybody else, ombudsman and everything else, what kind of position does that leave a victim in to address anything?
What does your lawyer say? What's he done?
He's not a lawyer, he's an advocate, and he's
So what's he doing?
Now when he came to meet with you in relation to the post-traumatic stress, he has done nothing. I have been referred to nobody. I spoke to him on Thursday for the first time in 5 months. He didn't answer his phone. I rang him 1,000 times. He never answered his phone. When he answered his phone, I says, why did you not answer your phone? Oh, I was in Australia. How long were you in Australia for? 2 weeks. He goes, I'll ring you tomorrow or Monday. He hasn't rang me at all. And he hasn't answered my calls and he hasn't answered my text. So, why am I expecting an ACC advocate to send me to an expert to have post-traumatic stress addressed in the first place? Why is it not your job? Why am I expecting an advocate to do that?
Because you've been dealing with them. I mean, I have no notes to go on. I can send one to ACC now, and I can say to them, look, can you please.
No, I think what we need is a meeting with ACC and yourself, sitting in a room answering all my questions.
Well, okay, you set up a meeting. It has to be an hour.
I can't set up a meeting. You need to do it. They're not going to listen to anything
So who
I
am
say.
I going to talk to in ACC? Who's your advocate in ACC?
I don't know. You can ring David Hepburn and see if he answers the phone to you, but he's not answering the phone to me, so I doubt it.
I've got his number.
Well, you can ring him. You can ring him and you can ask him to organise it. But if it's going to take him all the time that it's taken him since the last meeting, and he hasn't done anything, I've had a gutsful. I've really had a gutsful. I've reached the end of my road with everything and everybody.
I've got his number somewhere, haven't I? Hang on.
Right. I need to know how my injuries went from an oversensitive nervous system and a spinal cord entrapment to chronic pain. These are other issues that I need addressed, because an oversensitive nervous system is not chronic pain. So how did it change from an oversensitive nervous system to chronic pain? Yes, it causes pain, but why is all of my injuries, even the ones I haven't received yet, placed under chronic pain all the time? Because I literally am in a slave trade situation that I'm not getting any treatment, any medical treatment. My health and well-being is going downhill. My mental and psychological well-being has gone downhill.
I remember sending you to Dr. Chinchinwala last year for this thumb and all that. Did you go and see him?
Look, I'm not interested in talking like Chinchinwala at this moment in time. No, I did not go see him. There's other issues that I have going on that I couldn't even get up off a chair. To get on a plane for me is like I have to literally get drunk to get on a plane. I hate flying, but I needed to get out of here, and you know that, because the stress had just taken its toll on me. I'd reached the end of the road. Now, I have lost everything in my life because of this case, and I'm still losing everything in my life.
So have you gone up to Oniwa Road for those records?
Oniwa Road hasn't got any records according to them, because I went to one doctor in Oniwa Road, and then he left, and in came this Filipino doctor who was nicey the first time and then became Miss Nasty. And when you say I almost fell off my chair, she was an aggressive, threatening, intimidating, violent thug, to be honest.
Okay, anyway, go on. So what do you want me to do today? I'll ring up Hepburn's number. Give me his number. Because I've...
021...
Yeah?
021... 845 830.
021 8...
45...
Yeah?
830.
830? Okay.
Yes. Now I need to sit and I need to discuss all this. When can we have a meeting to discuss
Well,
all
I'll have
this?
to ring him first, won't I?
Well,
And
I
then
don't...
then he can organise one with ACC.
Look, at the end of the day, ACC will not give him a meeting unless it comes from you.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll ring him and I'll say to him, let's sort this man out. And I'll just put his number up here. Hang on.
ACC is avoiding this case like the plague. In 10 years, I have not had 1 ounce of rehabilitation for post-traumatic stress. Every time I go to see somebody, it's another conflict. I can't deal with it anymore. I need my life out of harm's way. ACC stated in March of 2006, ACC can never be involved in the management of your claim ever again. Jan White, CEO, in front of an ombudsman, in front of lawyers, in front of medical experts, who I still don't know the name of the medical expert who attended the secret meeting in Parliament on the 20th of June 2007. I've got a Crown lawyer telling me I better watch my back. I've had police say this is an act of war against you. I've had an ombudsman saying I would need a gun to resolve this. I've been threatened in a bar. I've had my children threatened. I've had my wife stalked and harassed for years. These are things you don't even know about. You have no idea what's going on in this case. I've been state criminal kidnapped after it was declared an act of war against me. I was not guilty of any of the charges, and I'm still getting screwed over by everybody involved. I am in the biggest slave trade action known to man, and I have been restricted in attending to my injuries. Now, they can investigate a brain injury, a mental illness, threats to kill, abuse, threats, intimidation, violence. They can harass, stalk, slander, label, defame. But you see, after they do the damage, everybody seems to shut up shop. And then you're not getting any treatment whatsoever. That's just disgraceful to me. It's reprehensible. It's disgraceful. It's scandalous. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep, everybody think, oh, he's mad. Everybody thinks I'm mad because of what I'm saying. I know what I've experienced. I know what I've been put through.
Can you start seeing my patients for me? Yeah, thanks.
I know what I've experienced. I know what I've been put through. And when I tell people what I've experienced and what I've been put through and what I've been subjected to, violence and all, they all try and claim you're mad. This is insane. It is insane. I never had any violent history in my life, never any conflicts in my life, never didn't want any conflicts in my life. I loved working, I loved doing my job, I loved creating things, I loved building things, I loved having a nice, peaceful, easygoing life. And ACC turned it into the biggest living hell using fear and violence. Because they compromised me in making a false declaration. I catch the lawyer out criminally compromising me, and then he goes on a rampage of fear and violence. And then all of a sudden, I'm being backed into a corner, being totally isolated, alienated, being frustrated. I've been stalked, harassed, criminally harassed. And then he started putting security guards outside my medical appointments. Then he started putting private investigators on my tail 24/7. Then, when all that had cleared up, I entered 3 agreements with ACC. And then he uses the police then to carry out his crimes. Then he tries to claim that he's suffering, that I'm the problem and I'm the danger, and he's the one carrying out all the crimes. This is what I've been subjected to. The medical professionals that have been involved in my case since Reese Tapson in 2000 are the biggest criminals on this planet. They did not write up what that man was subjecting my life to and my family to. He left it out of all his reports. Ailsa Duffy Queen's Counsel did exactly the same. Every medical professional involved. The only one who actually treated me with any respect was Dr. Brett Roach. And then in 2005, McGreevy threatened him. And he told him if I didn't sign my medical certificates in front of him, I wasn't to get a medical certificate, or McGreevy would have him wiped off. He threatened him, and then Dr. Brett Roach changed, and in 2009, Dr. Brett Roach committed suicide, according to them.
A long time, yeah.
Now, that was all because of what McGreevy did to him, and my case. Dr. Brett Roach was supposed to appear for me in court the same day that he committed suicide. Don't you think that's it's not a coincidence? The stress and the trauma. He talked to me for months. I saw him a week before he died with my 2 kids. And he just looked at me and he said, I'm sorry, Michael. You know? And I just went, he just goes, look, I'm sorry, I could have handled this better. But I had a lot of stuff going on myself. And he was supposed to appear in court for me. And then the court case got adjourned for another 4 months. And that's all the actions of Jared McGreevy.
Right, okay, well, I'm going to ring Henry. And then I will set up a meeting. I will also send a letter to ACC when you're within your ARC 18 to say, can you please ring me and set up a meeting? Okay, all
I have
right?
suffered insomnia. I suffer fatigue. I'm just worn down. I can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, what am I left with? ACC pays what, 80% of your income. What you don't realize is I'm actually only earning 25% of my income over my lifetime. I'm losing 75% of my quality of life over my lifetime because of these actions. And you're going to say, why is that? Because they take 20%, then they take 20% of tax, then they charge you all your surcharges here, left, right, and centre, then they charge you all these legal fees because they create all these legal problems. People don't realise ACC does not compensate anybody anything. They give you an existence. They run a slave trade. They restrict you in everything you do, and they pass the buck to you to do their job, and then they blame you when anything goes wrong. They're the ones running it all. And when they do things wrong, they hide behind fear and violence. They hide behind abuse. They look to entrap, to intimidate, to bully, to abuse. All they want is a reaction from their victim. And when their victim doesn't react, they just make it up anyway. I am sick of living this life. I've lost my family. I've lost my marriage. I've been in prison for something I didn't do. I have gone through I was even sectioned because I chose to see my children in a prison rather than sit there and do a psychiatric evaluation on the same day. These people are the dirtiest, low-life, scum of this earth bastards that I've ever come across. They have no humanity, they have no decency, they have no morals, they've got no ethics, they've got no principles, and they've got no integrity of any kind. And their 3 agreements prove that.
Okay, all right. So that's what I'll do. All right. I'll see.
I need some
What do you
nicotine
need?
patches.
What do you need?
I need nicotine patches because I need to stop smoking again. I started
The patches, yeah, I'll give you some patches, yeah.
I started smoking again. I don't take my stomach tablets anymore because when I was in Thailand, the water was just running out of me.
So what do you need? You just need habitat.
I need nicotine patches and probably, I don't know, I need to see an expert who's going to give me proper medication. I know that I need medication, but I can't be under the controls of ACC whilst that's happening. And to be perfectly frank with you, I don't think that I'm ever going to get the best medical treatment in this country. I was promised the best medical treatment money could buy. I was promised to be set up in my own self-employed business in June 2006. I went to a prison and I went to a mental asylum, and I have not received 1 ounce of rehabilitation from that day to this. I know these are all caught in the middle of what's actually going on, but every one of these are being used by ACC. It's a matter of convenience for them. I'm not blaming you for what they did, but the last 10 years I'm not getting any treatment for rehabilitation.
Yeah, so
and,
I mean, I'll
for
put a thing
the
in.
post-traumatic stress. I can't accept.
Okay, so I'm gonna, you know how I said the RARC, I'll write a note in there to say contact me, and contact us for whatever, and I'll ring Hanere.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think I'm mad?
No, I don't think it. I don't see you enough to think you're mad.
Do you think I suffer a mental illness?
No.
Do you think I suffer a brain injury?
Well, I haven't gone through your notes to say that you've suffered a brain injury, but
well, this is the whole point.
Yeah.
How can a lawyer in ACC
say that? Yeah.
convince doctors that I've got a brain injury or mental illness? They convinced the doctor, Dr. Bob Large, at the Auckland Regional Pain Clinic, that I had a brain injury and a mental illness, and that's why he prescribed me Prozac. And when I took that 1 tablet, I was suicidal for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Now, he told me it was for chronic pain, but that's the only reason that he would have prescribed that.
Okay.
As if he believed that I had a brain injury or a mental illness, and I had to prove that I didn't.
Okay. Well, I'll just.
This is what I have to go through all the time. It's
Well, that's your habitat. Okay. You're off all your other meds, aren't you? You're not taking anything else.
I haven't taken any medications for months and months
Okay.
and months and months
Yeah.
and months, if not years. The point is that you can prescribe all the medications you like. I don't like
Exactly.
taking,
Don't take
I don't
them.
like taking
Yeah.
medication. What I want is someone who's going to actually treat what the problem is, and not someone who's going to treat a symptom rather than address.
So basically, you're suffering from insomnia, chronic pain. Where's the pain? Shoulders, neck.
Pains everywhere. I mean, you see, I can't. When I was in Thailand, I kept falling over because of my neck. Now, do you remember I was sent for an X-ray on I thought it was my shoulder blade. It's not actually my shoulder blade. It's my neck. So I've never had an MRI scan for my neck anyway, and but there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like because I'm
Well,
falling
I'll
over all the time.
Do that
There's-
today. I'll send it away, and I'll just see what they come back as. Okay? You'll
Well,
probably get something.
I'm just muddled up and I'm jumbled. My mind is like, I have to jump from one thing to another to another to another. It's like
Okay.
I'm just scatterbrained, right? And then when I'm in the middle of conversations with people and I think about what I was subjected to in prison, what I was subjected to in police custody, what I was subjected to in the back of a police car. And I thought I was a paraplegic that day. I really did. Because everything just, I couldn't move my hands, I couldn't move my legs, couldn't move my arms for about, it was only maybe a minute. But that was really scary.
Yeah.
And when I start talking about it, my mind just goes blank, and that's where the trauma comes from. That's where the trauma is interferes with your life. Anyway.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. All right. Well, I'll see.
We need a meeting to discuss everything that I have on this paper.
Okay.
Like me sitting here scatterbrained is not helping me, and it's not helping you.
No. Take your forehead.
Look, at the end of the day, it's
What we could do.
well, David Hepbury, all he does is frustrate me.
Well,
He knows.
Well, I mean, I've tried to contact him before. It took him ages to get back to me. You know.
He knows I'm angry, and he knows I've reached the end of my road. And as I told him, this is going to get to a last resort if it keeps going the way it's going. And I'm serious about it. I'm not going to keep doing this.
No. Okay. All right.
I want my life back, and I want it out of the hands of ACC as promised. It would be in March of 2006, but because they're now arguing over the agreement and they're trying to have it made null and void without any responsibility, they've destroyed all the medical notes, they've destroyed all the evidence of their criminalities, they've obstructed and perverted the course of justice, they've done just about everything. You know these things. You know, it's like, I can't just sit here and pretend that I'm not suffering, because I am.
Okay.
Anyway.
Do what we can.
I'll leave you to it.
Okay.
Oh, listen, I forgot my wallet, so I'll square you up.
Just tell her up there. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.